Great. Can you guys hear me? Hello, Ron. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So apparently we are using StreamYard this time,
Hang on.
and until you go
Like this? Yeah.
live,
You can go to
uh,
like this.
there is a lot of noise coming from somewhere. Gotta get used to this. Okay, so I'm gonna throw some of you off if that's okay. Um, and uh, trying a few items. Okay, so who's gonna share the screen? Who has the screen share?
David will
I
share
have,
it.
yep, I have the slides.
You can put the slides, and Samesh, you don't have to be literally on the screen. There's nothing that
I'm
you're
just
doing.
checking the source in the mic.
A lot of feedback coming.
Is it my mic or?
No.
That feedback is probably coming from Saurabh. So Saurabh, that was your feedback.
Okay. I see share. You can only share the entire screen or the application window or Chrome tabs.
That's how it works.
So for the PowerPoint, it'd be. I guess I have to share my entire screen and just click on the PowerPoint.
Yep.
Put application window and will. Are you seeing?
I only see
Okay.
StreamYard, so
Okay.
entire screen. Okay. Share. And then click here like this.
Yeah.
Let me see. So let me mute myself for now. Let's see. Can I go? Shoot. Go here and mute myself. So let me mute myself for now.
Looks like we can start, guys. We're trying a new platform, so obviously it's going to take a little bit of time. I think David and Saurabh, you've muted yourself, so please unmute yourself. Rod, you too. You guys have to unmute yourself first. And you will have to mute. David, you're sharing the same.
I'm unmuted.
Unmuted.
I am unmuted too. Sorry, I have to go back to that screen every time I want to unmute, and it's making me share my desktop, so I can't share the actual PowerPoint application. I am unmuted too. Sorry, I have to go back to that screen every time I want to unmute, and it's making me share my desktop.
All right, this is a new platform that we are trying, StreamYard. And yeah, it's a little interesting. I thought it was going to be easier. We tested it out. So I'm going to just start with these slides. How many people do we have? Now, this shows we have 10 people. Is that, can you see, Rod, we have 10 live. Does it reflect our actual channel? So I can't see the actual video on YouTube, lest it, yeah, cool. So I can't see the actual video on YouTube. Yeah, we need to mute. Okay, I think we can kickstart this. I'm adding Saurabh to. Saurabh, you can start.
Hey, hi everyone, and welcome to another Deskera live webinar of Monday Matters. So what we are going to cover here today is some of the new releases that we have shared on the Facebook group. First is Australia compliance. We'll see a short video that shows how Australia compliance is going to look like in Deskera books. Then a preview of undeposited funds functionality. We will follow that up with a recurring invoice and Stripe integration, which will show how you can send recurring invoices with payment links, so you don't have to keep sending those payment links to your customers every time. Then we will have a thorough overview of Deskera books, followed by CRM and people, with a special focus on services and how to set up services in Deskera books, how to charge them, and how to create and send invoices for them. So with that, I hand it over to David to start with Australia compliance. David, over to you.
So I think, David, you have to start with sharing a screen first, and then I'll put it up.
I'm going to press play. All right. So let me go full screen in here. So inside here, you can create a new organization. So if you go back here, you click up set up your own organization here. After that, you put in your financial year start date. You put in your book beginning date when you start inputting the transactions. You put in your tax registry. This would be Australia. And then you can put in your reporting currency here, and then you can click create. So congratulations, your Deskera organization has been successfully set up. After that, let's go to company. And inside here, you can see your compliance settings. And here, you click the pencil to edit. And then you can put in the Australian business number. And then you can put in the Australia company number, Australian company number. And then you can put in the BAS reporting method, simple reporting method or full reporting method, based upon what you require. And then you click update. After that, you can see it's updated under compliance settings. Next, let's go down to tax. So inside here, you can see all your different types of GST and different types of taxes here. There's 12 different types. And you can also add tax. So this is where you can add your tax group. So inside here, you're putting your tax group name. So for example, tax group 1. And then you just put in GST, for example. Then you put in your description here. So consolidated taxes. Then you can start selecting your tax code. Now, you can start inputting your tax code. What tax code is this? So for example, TAXGP-0001. You can say, is this for sales, purchases, or both? And now you input your tax components. So these are your different GSTs. For example, GST capital purchase 10%. GST, let's see, GST purchase 10%. And I can say, is this pre-tax or is it after tax amount? And then I can save. And then you can see the tax group there. Next, let's go to contacts. Inside here, you can create a contact. You can put in the contact name. You can put in the email address. And you can put in the Australian company number and the other information there as well. And then here you can type in the address. So you can put in the address, postal code, zip code, country, and state. It's in state, like Victoria. And then you can save. After that, we can go to Cell. Inside Cell, we can create a quote or an invoice. So we select add our contact. So Steve Smith. We add a product or a line item. So we're just putting in a non-tracked product, which ironically is an iPhone, which would be tracked normally. Yep. Then you save it. Select the product. Put in the quantity. Select the GST amount. So for example, if we now select the group, the tax group that we created, put it here, and you put in the unit price. You can scroll down, and then you can expand taxes. Once you expand taxes, you can see the different tax components that are part of this tax group. Once done, you can save. Then after that, we can go inside, we can expand it, yes. So you can also drill in and expand as well. And then we can go to our good old journal entries. Journal entries. Then inside here, you can expand it. And then you can see the two GST payables are there. And the description based upon the different tax components. And that's a quick look at Australia compliance. All right. Let me close this and let me go open the next video. All right. Okay, let's share screen. Share Chrome tab. And let's go to this one here. What? No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, sorry about that. All right. 1 second. Next, we're going to go to unfunded deposits. All right. Let me close that tab. Let me just go back to the share screen. Sorry, first time using this wonderful service. Unfunded deposits. Yes, that's what I want to share. And let's watch the video.
Hello everyone.
Sorry, one second. There we go. Let me expand it. Okay. So inside here, you can see the invoice. And we can see this invoice here, due in 30 days, $100 and $214. And then we can click Get Paid here. And then you'll notice under Deposit 2, we have a new one, and that is Undeposited Funds. So you can click that. Click the payment type. Choose a date. And input the check number. And then you can click Next. After that, you can see you've done the Deposit 2, Unfunded Deposit here for $100. Then you click Receive. And then here you can just close. And then let's do another one. So inside here, we're going to look at this one here for $214, and you're going to click Get Paid. And then they're going to select the Deposit 2. They're going to select Undeposited Funds. Select the payment type. And you can put check. You can put in the date. And you can put in the check number. And then you go Next. And then you can receive. So you see 214 for undeposited funds. And you can click Receive. And you can close. Okay. Then after that, you can click Accounting. Then we can click on Deposits. So inside here, I can then click Create. And then we can do a bank deposit. So then you select the Deposit 2. Yeah, down here, you can see the 2 invoices that we just did. And then you can see the amount here. You can type in the bank, select the reference number. You can put in the number here, for example, reference number 2401. Then you select which ones you want. So you click here, you can select this one, and you can select that one. Okay, and now they're going to select the next one. All right, and then you can save here. So you can see the selected payment changes based on which ones you select, and you see the total amount here, and you can save it. After saving, you can see that the transaction record has been created. And now we can go to banks. And inside here, we can click on Reconcile. Now we can import a statement. So you can see here's $314. Over here. And we are going to import a statement with $314 with the same reference. So import the statement. You can see the import is here, transaction amount, description, reference, check number, and transaction type. So click import. Just drop the file right on into here. Or you can browse and select the file. Depends on what you want to do. And open. I'm really looking forward to test this out as soon as it's in production. It looks pretty cool. Oh, the import function is there in production. I'm referring to the undeposited fund. And then you click submit. Then inside here, you can go and find a match by clicking find match. And then you can change the from date and to date to search for the transaction. Yep, and now you can see the transaction here. You can select it, click match, and now it's matched. Then you can scroll down. So it's now uncleared, deposit is now uncleared. You can click next. And inside here, you can see it's matched, and then you confirm. And then you select the period and the reconciliation date, and then you save it. You can also attach. So if you have like a bank statement you want to attach, you can also attach there as well. And you can see now it's reconciled and no unclear deposits. All right. So that is.
David, before we move on to the next one, let's take a few minutes here to talk about the two features that we have shown. So first, Australia compliance. Now, Australia compliance allows you to capture all the GST calculations automatically. All we need to do is, all the GST tax codes are going to be auto-populated when you start using, when you set your country as Australia. And then you can create any tax groups which can be applied over and above the taxes. And you can choose pre-tax or post-tax values to apply those additional taxes on, and that will give you the the correct calculation for all the GST values in your invoice. And in the next phase, which is what we are working on right now, you will see the BAS reports as well. So you will have your GST calculations and you will have your BAS report that you can then submit to the government. So that's what we are covering for Australia tax compliance for books. And coming to the second point, which was undeposited funds. So sometimes, when you receive amounts or deposits, you don't know which bank they belong to. So you can just put them into, you record those payments, and then later on, when you are ready to do your reconciliation, when you have your bank statements, etc., then you can just transfer those payments into any given bank. And then even if your bank is not connected, as David showed today, you can easily import an Excel file, and you can and then you can match against the transactions from the Excel file in the system. So those are the two features that we have shown till now, and giving it back to David. So David, let's take us through the third one, which is recurring invoice with Stripe payment link, which makes it easier for you to create one invoice, set it recurring, create the payment link, and then just let it run
Sir,
automatically.
are you using the Yeti microphone?
This one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it sounding? It's not sounding too good. You should keep your mouth as close to it. It's a condenser microphone. But anyway, just want to check that.
Yeah.
Sorry. We are just playing with the new interface, which is a StreamYard interface, and we can push new icons and tickers. And I have the admin on it, so I'm just playing with it. Hopefully, you don't mind. It's just done in very light, spirit. So if you want your name here, let us know in comments. We will have those names displayed here for all of you to see. Back to Deskera Books demo with David. So David, back to you.
Okay. We just have one more video to show, and that is the really cool and I think awesome recurring invoices with Stripe. I'm just going to expand this. I'm going to press play. So inside here, you can create an invoice, which is what we all can do. We all know how to do this now, Roger Federer, yes. And what does he like to buy? Tennis rackets.
Of course.
Yes. So inside here, he's only buying one, which is very sad. Usually you think he'd buy 4 or 5. But after the invoice has been created and saved, you can click the 3 dots and you can email. Email. And then inside here, if you scroll down, you can see, if you're connected to Stripe, insert payment link. And then you can send it off. And usually this before was a manual process. So if you had recurring invoices, you'd have to do this every single month, which is quite annoying. So just to show you what it looks like in here, what the email will appear by will look like. So we're just putting in Roger Federer's email from, and then you can scroll down here and you can see here what the invoice looks like. Hi, thank you for reaching out. You can see the invoice link here as well, the payment link. Now, if you click the 3 dots, you can now go and set as recurring. And inside here, you can set up recurring. You can set up the intervals. Is it yearly, monthly, weekly? Is it a custom numbering as well? You can set the recurring period. When does it first start? So maybe it starts on the 5th. And what's the ending date? Does it end? What date does it end on? Or does it never end? You're going to charge them for eternity. And then here you can put in the 2. So this is where you're setting up the recurring email. So you're putting in, for example, Roger Federer's email address. And you're clicking here the insert payment link here. And you can also send a copy. And then you can save it. And there you go. You now have recurring invoices with Stripe payment.
So we have one question. Is Square integration on the plan, Tracy Browning? Good thing about this interface is that we can push your comments to the screen. So hopefully you can see the screen and your comment, and then we can reply to it live. Is Square integration on the plan? Saurabh, if I can't answer, I basically ask Saurabh to answer.
Yeah. So Square integration, yes. I mean, you can connect Square right now also using Zapier, or if it is available on Pabbly, then you can use that as well. But having said that, we have APIs and webhooks that can be used to build a more direct integration with the Square as well. But nothing is stopping you from using Zapier or any other available tool to connect Square to Deskera today as well.
Are we doing it natively? I think that's the question. When they can do Pabbly,
we will take it up once we have finished our current.
They can use Integrately, they can use Pabbly, they can use Zapier. But for your product, are you doing a native integration? My answer to that is yes. We have Canada coming up next. After Australia, we have Canada coming up next week. Once Canada and UK are lined up and teed up properly, we will devote some of our bandwidth to Square and some payments tool. We haven't picked those up because our priority right now is to go live in as many countries as possible. Once a few of those countries are live, Australia is going to be live, Canada is going to be live next 2 weeks, and then UK. So as soon as these countries are live, we'll get back to Square, get to Square, get to Razorpay in India, get to a few more payment providers and infrastructure providers. But there's a good question to ask: why did Stripe did what it did when Square was still around? So Square has been around for a while. I remember in 2010, I was in US and I wanted to set up a bank account. So I was talking to a bank manager and they said, look, it's going to be challenging for a bank account for your business. So I wanted to set it up for my business. They said, look, and this was Chase Bank. And he said, it's going to be a little challenging, but why don't you open a Square account and, book your customers' invoices on Square account? And I was very surprised. The reason I wanted to open an account was so that I could collect some payments from a customer. And he said, go and sign up with Square, and they'll collect on your behalf, and then they'll deposit in an account that you want to, any way you want to. And once you have that, then it's easy to open an account. So in my mind, it was just something that I'd never heard before. 10 years later, nobody's talking about Square anymore. It's all Stripe everywhere. So you have to ask this question: what did Stripe do well, which Square didn't do? And I think Square went deep into hardware, point of sale, and that connected to the phone that they had. What they didn't do well was developer APIs and developer support. So I would, if I had to put, like $100 on a company, I would put it on Stripe and not Square. I would pick Stripe over Square anytime, but we will still integrate with Square. There's a lot of user base sitting on Square. So yes, that's something that you want to do. We'll pick up one more question. And I'll just add Saurabh to the stream as well. Do you have plan to add title, first name, last name, and company name by default? It will be better you show the title and person's name in the email sent. This is something that you can, we can do this.
Yeah. So I think what Mike is talking about here is adding it in the books email. So we will add options to edit and manage those templates as per your requirement. It's not in the current roadmap for this month or for the initial next month, but yes, we will do that. Similar to what we have in our CRM email template. In fact, we might end up using the same engine to make that happen. And then you will be able to add placeholders like name and company and other details in the book's email template as well.
My question again on this is, why is it so inflexible? So I'm sure we can take a small detour and add that, because this is something that's very sensible. So let's review this week and see if we can add it to our pipeline. Just take a note, Saurabh, if you can, please.
Sure.
That's very interesting. I'm going to bring up one more question, and this is, I don't know if this is a question or, hi, Mr. John, this is your invoice better than, hi, this is, oh, yeah. Got it. Okay, yeah. I'll take this up. This is something that I think we'll park under quality of life QL team. And we'll see if we can take this up. So let me come back on this in the group by next week. Give us this week. I think we can take this up. One more question from Tracy. My WooCommerce store is run totally integrated with Square. Square is the go-to service for in-person. Yes. Square is the in-person standard in US. So yes, let me come back on Square. And once we have some more geographies lined up, we'll come back and do all the payment integration. So with that, I think we have covered a few questions, and I've seen how this works. So I can pull up a question very easily and put it on the screen. Hopefully, this is better than the last time. It was harder to bring up comments like these. Thank you, Ravindra. Deskera is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Makes us very happy. Makes us all of us very happy. So thank you for this. I think we will go back to the demo if that's okay. So David, it's back to you. I'm going to pull off Saurabh, and I'm going to pull off myself on the stream. So it's back to you and your demo.
Awesome. All right, I'll start sharing the screen. Let's see. Yeah, share. All right. So I'm at the all-in-one dashboard screen in Deskera. So you can see all the information in a glance. Like your invoices, your age receivables, your bank accounts. You can do your deals won and lost. I can view my pipeline, my contact reports, my expense claims, my payroll, my leaves per month. And all this data is generated from our Deskera books, Deskera sales, and our Deskera people. Now let me go into Deskera books. And inside here, you're going to be able to see the Deskera dashboard. Yep, here we go. So inside here, I can see the invoices, for example, for the last 30 days. I can see my age receivable, my bills, my bank account, my net cash flow, my profit and loss. Up here, if I click this button, this is where we can create a new organization. And if I scroll down to company, you can see the company settings. We also have, just quickly, in here, we have our user management, our users, unit of measurement, taxes, payment terms, audit log, import log, currency, and custom fields. So just quickly to show you, for custom fields, we can create 3 types. We can create our text field, we can create our number, and we can create drop down. So text, you can think of it like maybe additional remarks.
So David, I think you've shared a dashboard. We can see the custom field.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That is interesting. All right. So let me go back there.
Can you see the StreamYard interface? You can see the StreamYard interface, right? So you will see the screen that you share. You'll see the screen that you're sharing, that you have to share. You'll see the screen.
Okay. Share the application window, or I see Chrome tabs here.
I mean, whatever you share, you'll see as live in StreamYard interface. You will see what you share in the StreamYard interface.
It actually takes me to the actual web page when I'm seeing it. But okay.
Oh, like, can you see the screen that you are on? Are you? How did you add screen?
Overlays on top of the.
Yeah, but in order to access that screen, I would have to go to the actual web page that's sharing and use it.
You can use two tabs. Don't worry. You can use two different screens, or you could use Safari and Chrome.
Oh yeah, I'm okay. I'll continue. All right,
Just
sorry about that.
run StreamYard on one screen, so you know what you're sharing. You can see what you're sharing, and then you can run. Actually, you don't need anything else. You can just run one more Chrome tab for the demo.
Correct. Okay,
Right?
so all right.
Cool.
Okay, so inside here, we can create our custom fields. Sorry about that. So this is where I can input my text, my number, my drop down. So for example, maybe length of product. And I can put in the decimal precisions, like how many decimals I need it. Default value here, any default value. And I can also do drop downs. So you can think of this like departments, outlets, whatever you'd like. And then I can put the value here. You also think of it like projects and all that. Like, for example, sales, marketing, and so forth. And I can just add it. After that, I can go and create in module. I can go to general. I can add this to my contacts, products, accounts, journal. I can also sell, quotation, invoice, and I can also buy, order, and bills. So this is where I can add it to. Next, let's go to products. So inside here, I can create my different types of products. I can go and click on a new product. And we're talking about a non-track product. So maybe we can think of it like web designer. You can also think of it like, let's see, gardener, electrician, engineer. I mean, not engineer, garden, electrician, aircon repair. But my sister does CPA. She does external audits. And of course, everything's already set up for you. If you don't need to change anything, you don't need to change your purchase accounts or sales accounts or inventory unit of measurement, you can just go and save immediately. You can go here and change it if you'd like, and you can click save. So inside here, I've created my product. I can also create a contact. So based upon different types of your statutory requirements, certain things will change in your contact screen. So for example, let me call this Beyond Web. Beyond the Web. PPE Ltd. I can put an email address. This is for US compliance, so you have a tax number here. Under accounting, I can put my payment terms, my accounts payable or receivable, and I can type in my address here. I can see your Robinson Drive. I just click it. You can see the information's updated, and I can save. I can also add other addresses here as well. After that, I can just go directly to sell. So if you're doing a service, you may not be buying the service. You may be just selling the service. For example, you're not buying my, for example, a web designer's time. He'll be probably an employee, so you're paying him through the payroll. So you'll just go directly to sell. You can go here and create a new quote. And I can add a contact here. For example, Beyond the Web Private Limited, or just our new contact we created. And I can add a line item here. So for example, web designer. And then I can put in the quantity. So maybe he needs 10 hours. He charges at $100 an hour. We charge $100. I can see the amount here. And I can see if there's any taxes available for this. I can put any description. Inside here, we have custom number formats. So inside here, I can put in the prefix, separator, display, separator, and suffix. We also have global custom fields. So this is where I can input my global custom fields like remarks, projects, outlets, and save it. We have our multi-currency. So inside here, if it's not going to be, for example, US dollars, I want to change it to something else. For example, maybe euro. You can see the exchange rate changes here, and I can update accordingly. And this is where I can set as recurring. So in recurring, they showed you in the video yearly, monthly. We have custom though as well. So this allows you to have 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, or every 3 days, or every 3 months, or every 3 weeks. We can have the first document date, and we put it any date, or it can never end based upon our requirements. And I'm just going to save. After that, since it's a service, you can only fulfill here. There's no stock. Technically, there's no ship to or fulfill. You just can fulfill it here. But that doesn't make sense really for, what's it called? Services. So that's why we have convert. And here you can fulfill and convert at the same time. So for a service, it doesn't make sense for me to actually, do any type of fulfillment. I can just click here, fulfill and convert immediately. After that, I can click here. I can see it's fulfilled. I can now get paid. I can also email as well. So if I click here, email, I can then see, put in the name, and I can insert my payment link here. We also have designer. So inside here, we have design. So this is where you can now select your template. So I can see all my different templates here. I can choose a company logo, for example. Let's see, my desktop, Apple. Oh, again, 1 second. I'm just going to do this. There we go. All right. All right. So inside here, we can see our invoice template. So we can see our different templates here. I can choose a file. I can now go and look, for example, on my desktop. I can choose an image. I can open it on up. And I can insert, you can see my logo here. I can change the color themes here to whatever I'd like. I can also go and add in components. So inside here, I can add in additional image, additional text. So for example, if I want to go here and add a text information here. So for example, maybe I want to call this paid. I can do that. I can change the text size, font weight, based upon what I required. Oh, okay. Paid. And I can left align border as well. I can also add signatures. So inside here, I can add additional signatures here. And I can add images, styles, and I can even add a watermark, for example. And we have many, many different templates here. And you can see, once I change the template, what still shows up here? My signature, my watermark, my text here. So it still appears on every screen.
Worst design template I've seen, man. Not kidding.
Sorry, not an expert. What's it called?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But you can see, you can set it up here any way you'd like. You can download it, email it, print it, and you can share it here as well.
Yeah, so just hold on to that. And a few questions came up last week on the forum. I'll just write a question here so that I can display it. So I'm just writing a question. The question is, does it work with custom fields? So does your invoice work with custom field or not? I'm going to push this question. Yeah. So the question is, can we go back to the invoice designer?
Oh, okay. 1 second. Let me go share again my screen. Okay. Okay, and let's go back to the designer.
Yeah. So David, I think you need to use two browsers. So use StreamYard on one browser, and you need to use another browser for the demo, so that you can call the demo browser from StreamYard browser. If you have the same browser, then it won't work. Cool. Or incognito
Oh,
mode.
okay. You mean I have to use like Firefox or?
Yeah, so use Firefox for StreamYard, but we can do it next time. Don't worry. I'm just
Okay.
bringing it up live so that
Okay.
so this doesn't happen. You saw what
Oh,
happens,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, we go into the infinity mirror.
Yeah, I'm going to add this to the stream once again. What we are doing now is we are adding custom fields to the invoice template. We're adding as many features as possible to the invoice template for users that don't want to use Word. And eventually, the plan is to phase out the Word template and have more features here in this interface. So we'll have more feature for users on this interface, drag and drop interface, and we will probably have the doc template sort of phased out. So that's the goal. We'll come up with more. We're adding custom fields. Is going to be added in the next week or two. Once that is in, this will be fully functional for all kinds of users, and you can save template now, and you can make a new template and save it, share it. So we'll be adding those features here. That's the goal. I'll bring up a few more questions while we are here, and while Saurabh, you are here as well. So the first question being asked is, any chance of changing favicon for books? Favicons. Okay, yeah, good question. Hey, that's a good question. So we have the same favicon across all three. Yeah, how did I miss that? That's true. Okay, we'll have a different favicon for all the three. I think we can do that fairly quickly. How did I miss that? You know why I missed that? Because I have few people who are obsessed with icons in the company, and I just don't want to encourage icon making competition. So we just kind of, miss that. We have, so I'm just taking it from the top. This is an elaborate question, and I'm bringing Saurabh as well. Saurabh, what do you have to say about this?
Hey, so this is about pick, pack, ship. So can we have further development of?
Is often in the company right now because I realize not a lot of people are asking for it. So we have kind of deprioritized. And anyone who has made a comment on pick, pack, ship, it's always been about how do we turn it off? How do we not use it? How do we stop using pick, pack, ship? So in the last, I think 4 weeks, 1 month, I don't think anybody's asked a single question on pick, pack, ship. Is that right?
Yeah, I think this is like the first question that we have on improving it. Otherwise, it is all about, okay, how do I get rid of this? I don't want to see this. It is cluttering my screen. So
what do you have to say about pick, pack, ship? And I'll bring up all the questions Callum Bush asked one by one. So this is the first question. It's very appealing, but has limited features. The second question is, the only use I can see it for, somebody says maybe 5 things a day max. So how do we, there are usability issues. The next question is, there isn't the ability to click on an order, pick, pack, ship to see details, no ability to see what is SKUs, and no ability to sort orders, filter them, group. So I think I'll just take the first part, which is these are UX issues which can be addressed very fairly quickly. We had a sort of a blind spot on pick, pack, ship, as I said, because there's a lot of demand coming for other features. But these are issues that don't need a lot of dev time. Saurabh, correct me if I'm wrong.
true.
I mean, Ashutosh is kind of, as we speak, he's tearing his hair off. But what do you have to say?
Yeah, so there are usability options that can be added here. More filters can be provided. We already have some filters, yes, but more filters can be provided. So for example, like different criteria that you mentioned here. So all of these are fields that can be added, and they can be made searchable or filterable. And I mean, as Shashank pointed out, it's pretty easy to do. It's just that I
You
mean,
don't need to do anything.
in terms of the requirement
Don't use
that
only.
we have had from the community, not a lot of people are using it, and which is why I mean, if you see in the roadmap, there is not a lot on PickPackShip, but we can definitely make it more usable, more user friendly for you. But I mean, this kind of feedback is helpful, so this will help us.
You just repeated what I said. Like you didn't add anything to it.
You covered it also.
Okay. Now coming back to what can we do about PickPackShip. If you're using it, Callum, what I would encourage is that if you could spend some time with Saurabh and explain what you need or give us some idea of the specific things that you need, we can go through them, prioritize the dev time, and come back with a plan. Put it on a plan as well. PickPackShip is a feature that we introduced ourselves. Nobody asked for it. We just introduced it because a lot of our users in Southeast Asia were using this idea. Singapore, they were using some sort of PickPackShip, and we thought it's going to be it'll have it has a life beyond the first few screens, which is exactly what you said. But it all depends on how much usage we get out of it. So we monitor usage backend wise, and we see where we can spend a lot of our time on. But if there's something that that you need or that we can fix quickly, I think we can work on it very quickly. So hopefully this answers the question. But if you send a message on the group to Saurabh, we'll spend some time on it and see what your requirement is. Some of this that you said is something that we can. There's some things here that we can fix quickly. And if these are low-hanging fruits, maybe we can address them quickly. Sorry, Saurabh, if there's anything you want to add.
No, I think you covered it all.
Mohammed Zaini is asking, when do we get SMTP in books? I think we've got SMTP in sales, right?
We have SMTP in sales for deals and contacts. We have it for help desk, and we are adding it for email campaigns. For book, we will add that in the coming few weeks or so. For people right now, I don't know if, I mean, the only case when you have,
Payslip, and
yeah,
payslip.
only when the payslip is being sent out is when you need to set that up. So yeah, we will get there.
When? What's this?
Once we have our compliance rolled out.
Not learn a single lesson. We will get there. Somebody's gonna. You'll get lynched.
Yeah, I mean, so see. I mean, the reason why something like that would not be prioritized over compliance is because the employees will still get their payslips via email, but it will be from a Deskera address initially. Later on, it can be changed to your address as well. But it's important to have the payroll compliance out first, so that you can at least create a payslip.
In short, it's a lower priority feature because the feature works as we want it, but it doesn't have the last mile, which is the email you want, but it works. So I think we will do it once the compliance rolls out. Thank you. That's a good suggestion. Chris Wool says just a simple color will do. Thank you for a fair icon, I think. Thank you for that. We'll pull up one more question from Mike Wong. Could you consider hire a professional to improve on UX? That's okay. I mean, I hired a few people, so we can let them go and get a bunch of new people. I'm just kidding. No, so the challenge is, again, on the UX side, if you have something that you see that is not working for you, we'll improve it. Again, Zero has had like 10 years of this UI. I'm sure people who are using Zero know that this has been around for at least 10 years. At least the last 5 years have been very standard for Zero. Zero hasn't changed the UI for the last 5 years. Look at QuickBooks.
Yeah, I mean, and there is another point. I mean, for every feedback where it is worse than QuickBooks or Wave, we have also had feedback that it is better than what QuickBooks and Zero have right now. But yeah, I mean, and it's not like either of the feedbacks are incorrect or wrong. There are areas of improvement, yes, and And the important thing about UX is not that okay, everything is immediately clear to you, but whether you can work your way through that UX or not. For example, when I first switched to an iPhone from an Android, for a few days I did not know how to go back. That doesn't mean that iPhone has a bad UI. It's just about getting used to it and understanding. I mean, does that UI tell me, okay, where can I go from here? Or does it stop me completely or block me completely? If it is not blocking you completely, then maybe it is not bad design, but yeah, can it be improved? Yes.
I disagree, obviously, but So my approach is simple. My approach is that we'll work bottom up. If there's an issue that you see in the UI, we'll fix it. It's going to take a few iterations to get to the best UI. Just tell us where you see an issue. Maybe that's not an issue. Maybe that's an issue. We'll just see that. Top down wise, yes. Eventually, what comes out may not be acceptable for everyone. As in, some people will still complain, some people will love it. So there'll be a curve, a bell curve of people who may like it or who may not like it. But I think where we can do a good job is bottom up. So give us some ideas, tell us what you don't like, and we'll work on those ideas. If there are alignment issues, if there are issues with just basic UI itself, then we can address them ASAP. I think there shouldn't be any alignment issues. If there are UX issues, meaning you have to click 3 times to get something through, like the contact form, we gave you our explanation why we have it that way, but maybe we can fix it as well. But having said that, to not adding on sort of actually what he's saying is he's being a little the word is defensive, but that's okay. I would say it's going to take time. Give us some time. Give us 3 more months, right? And at the end of 3 more months, if you have no progress, then you can come back and say we're not working on it. Then we can have a very heated argument. But give us 3 months. QuickBooks has had like a decade more, maybe. Xero has had many years. So give us 3 months. Give us some time. We will improve, and then every 3 months we'll improve. Every 6 months we'll improve. So hopefully next year at same time you'll have a better UI and a UI that is more acceptable, and then we'll keep working on it. So iterating. We'll just keep iterating it. So nothing happens in the first try. I don't think what we shouldn't do is panic. What we shouldn't do is just give up and panic and act as if we've lost it. We'll not get there. So just give us some time. We'll get there. So thanks for your feedback, Mike. I'm going to add Sar once again, and I'm going to add one more question. Callum Bush is saying this. I think not many people are asking because there are not many people with physical commerce. Yes, I agree. We have a lot more use cases buying offline from us, buying the software offline for this feature. So I agree. I completely agree. How many developers are working on books currently? Dude, come on. I can't answer that question. But if you ask Ashutosh, he's going to say, not enough. If you will have one more question, if you go to say Shopify Facebook group, finding good value packing back solutions that we discussed. Yes, that's a good suggestion actually. I'll do that. Let's just say that some of my alts are on all these groups, so I'll do that. That's a good suggestion. Back to Mike Wong is saying, when I first use QuickBooks, I don't feel blocked when I use to achieve something, but in Deskera, too many clicks. Okay, so maybe we can run through. And see what's missing, and we can add those features. So again, it's just a matter of iteration. Just a matter of, you've heard of that age-old idiom, rabbit versus tortoise, right? I'm sure whichever culture you are from, you have this idiom of a rabbit and a tortoise, and a rabbit is very fast and a tortoise is very slow, and the rabbit jumps and tries to get to his endpoint but sleeps in the middle, and the tortoise is on his way and it eventually reaches there. So again, I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. So we'll keep adding these features like a tortoise. We'll keep doing our job, and eventually we'll get to the finish line. We don't have to rush to it. We don't have to panic. We don't have to drop everything and just focus on this and do nothing else. Right now, my goal is to get to as many countries as possible because there's a lot of demand coming in for the product, and that's okay. That's all good and nice. Once those users are on board, we'll improve the UI and UX, do a new release of interface, and keep improving. and getting more users on board. So it's like a long process. I keep saying that. I keep saying the phrase I keep saying as well. So that's recursive. But I keep saying that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, and what I promise is we'll reach there. But it's going to take time. So if I try to do everything at once, we'll probably not get there, and we'll probably burn ourselves. And I'm very, very, very worried about the rabbit who sleeps in the middle and just forgets about his race. So we want to get there at our pace, but we'll get there. Coming back to the next question, how is German tax integration? We're working on it. It's work in progress. So we'll release Canada next week, New Zealand coming up, UK coming up, and once UK is there, we'll get to Germany. So UK is probably three releases down, and we're doing a release every 2 weeks. So we'll get there very soon. By Jan, we'll be there. Mike said thanks. Understood. Thank you for that. Coming back to our demos, so I'm going to add my colleagues as well, and the stream once again. We're going to go back to the demo, and I'm going to spend time on playing with the tickers now. So hiding the question and back to the demo, and I'm going to play with the banners.
Okay, so inside here, we can now click Get Paid. After clicking Get Paid, screen will pop up. There we go. And this is where you can see your payment date, your currency, your banks, and I can change the currency here as well. So for example, if I want to change it back to my reporting currency in USD, there we go, USD. And then I can select the deposit to. For example, my Bank of America, my payment type. And now you can see we have card here now as well. So you have check, bank transfer, and card. And then I can choose the date, put in the reference number, and go next. Then I can see the exchange rate and I can update it here. Because, of course, the bank will always want us to use their exchange rate, no matter how much we try. And then you can see the amount here, and I can click Receive. And then I can close. We also have the import function in here, so it's now available. You can now import your invoices here. You also have alerts or your invoice reminders. So inside here, I can now select the date. So I can enable invoice reminders. I can say 1 day before due date, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. I can also change this amount here. So maybe 10 days, for example. And I can say, okay, 7 days after due date, repeat 30 days, 3 times total. So if I was evil, repeat 1 day, or let's see, 365 days, a maximum 90 days. So you can input here what you want to do, and times in total, something crazy like, 5 times, okay. You can't really drive them insane, but you can put the repeating and then you can save it. We, of course, have our filters here where you can filter out your contacts. All, due, soon, overdue, unlimited, partial, fulfilled, pending payments received, non-recurring, and you can add custom filters here as well as product custom filters as well. All right. Just to show you as well, if I just click on Get Paid, sorry, not Get Paid. If I show you in here and click on the 3 dots and I click on Fulfill, just to show you, we have 3 different types of fulfillment: direct fulfillment, pick, pack, ship, and drop ship. Now, if I want to make a payment, you saw we can make payment. I can receive payment from Stripe. We also have, in our apps, the ability to make payment and receive payment from Veeam. So inside here, I can see my sales invoices, and then I can go and send them off. I can do my purchase invoices, and I can send those purchase invoices off as well. We also have PayPal. So inside here, you can connect to PayPal, and here's your invoices. And I can send my invoices off to my customer, and I can see the PayPal invoice here as well. So I can see here the total amount, the invoice to. I can go and click the pay button here. And then I can put in my password and log into PayPal and make the payment. Okay. All right. And then, of course, we have our accounting. So inside accounting, we have our chart of accounts. So this is where I can create all my different chart of accounts. We have the import option to import it via Excel. We also have, of course, our journal entries. So as you saw before, we can expand all our journal entries here by clicking the expand button. We can also create a journal entry, a normal journal entry, and a fund transfer. And we have the import option here. So this allows me to import my normal journal entries and my fund transfer journal entries. I also have the ability here under journal entries, if I've created it, meaning if it's a created journal entry, I manually created the journal entry, I'm able to set it as recurring, only for manually created journal entries. We, of course, have our opening balances. So inside here, this is where I can input my opening accounting, inventory, and contacts, and we have our import function. So just so you know, under contacts, this is where you will actually import your opening sales invoices and opening bills. We also have our debit note, credit note, expense, and deposits here as well. Now let's go to reports. Inside here, you have your profit and loss.
David, could you explain a little bit on what opening balances are and when they are
sure.
supposed to be used and how they're useful?
So your openings. So when you created a company for the first time, and you click on New Organization, inside here, you'll notice that you'll have your financial start date, which may be your calendar date, for example. It may be the same as your calendar date. So maybe 1/1. And then you have your book beginning date. So this is when you're actually going to start putting transactions into the system. So for example, 12/1/2020, anything on 12/1/2020 and after that, I'm actually going to be doing physical transactions into the system. Before 12/1/2020, I need to gather all my opening information. What is my openings for my chart of accounts? So usually it's at the start of a month because finance will do a month-end closing with all your books, so you can see what the status of your P&L and balance sheet are at that time. And then you'll go to accounting and you'll go to your opening balances, and then you'll import it. So for example, at the time of 11/30/2020, this is how much I had in my bank account, for example. Maybe I had $3,000 in my German bank account, Royal Bank of Scotland. Maybe I had $10,000 in my bank account at that time. So I look at my P&L statement, my balance sheet. I see all my general ledger. I see what my debit and credit amounts, and then I start inputting them into the system here. That way, going forward, my balance sheet, my chart of accounts, my trial balance all tallies, and everything looks correct. So this is for your accounts, but then for your inventory, instead of putting it under your account in here, you'll actually go to your inventory itself and you'll put in your opening valuation. So for example, if I have 10 laptops and they're about $10,434, so what does this mean? It means that my opening quantity, it means 10 laptops equals $10,434. So it's the total amount. So this is where you'll input your inventory, the value of your inventory and your opening quantity. You will not update the account directly here. So that account that chart of account will not be updated here at all. You'll be updating it at the inventory account. Now for your contacts, any openings. Now, so this is your opening bills. So in your chart of accounts, you put all the information in there, but some of your contacts may have some opening amounts, meaning, for example, maybe I owe money to Beyond the Web Private Limited. So I will go here and either import, if I have a lot, or just create the opening bill. So I can say Beyond the Web. I can put in the supplier invoice number, select the currency, select the document number, and input the amount. So this is the amount I currently owe him. So for example, maybe I owe him $1,000. After that, I can save it. And the document date is based upon, has to be before your book beginning date. So this is all my outstanding before my book beginning date, because anything after my book beginning date is when I'm actually using the system, when I'm going live in the system. I'm actually inputting the transactions into the system. This is all before that date. And for example, I can also create here, maybe an opening sales invoice for Stacy's Gadgets. And then I can put in the amount, put in the document number, put in the customer reference number. And so this is what she owes me before the book beginning date. So in this case, I went live on 6/1/2020. So I can only select dates, as you can see here, that are past that, before my book beginning date. So I can say, for example, maybe on 12/3/2019, she owed me $1,000. And then I can change the due date accordingly, and I can save it. And that way here, I can keep track of all my opening amounts, all my opening bills that I've not received payment for, all my opening invoices that I've not received payment for. And I can also check my trial balance. So inside here, the most important field is difference in opening balance. This should always be 0. There should be no difference in opening balance. If there's a difference in opening balance, then something's gone wrong. One of your chart of accounts has not been updated correctly, or you've not imported your opening products correctly, or you're missing a bill or an invoice, opening bill or invoice. So this is key, that there should be no difference in opening balance. Anything you want to add?
No, David, but there are a few questions that I think we should go through first.
Okay.
So the first question is from is how can I charge my customer the first 50% deposit and partial payment thereafter, which is the remaining 50%? So I believe that can be done using advance payments and then knocking it off against the invoice. So David, would you like to show that?
Okay, so doing advance payments and knocking off the invoice is under accounting.
Give me a second. Sorry. Hello.
Hi.
Dude, guys, let me find the question. Hold on. Just let me get the question. I can't. Can you just tell me the timestamp of the question? Timestamp?
2112.
Oh, no. There are many questions about that. Okay.
No, we addressed all the ones
Yeah, okay.
about that, I think.
Push this questions. Chris Fools. Okay. And by the way, you can use StreamYard interface to see the questions. You don't have to go to YouTube. So you can shut YouTube down and just see StreamYard's interface. You'll see all the questions here. Hopefully you can see the questions, right? So you'll see the questions that I highlight, and you'll see that on the interface. Once again, use StreamYard on one browser and then use Deskera on another browser so that they don't conflict. So yeah, let's answer this question first, and then we'll take the next one.
All right.
Yeah.
So
how?
you could,
Yeah, go ahead, David. Sorry.
okay. So inside here, for example, I can see that Stacy, let's see, Austin Circuits owes me $54.07. So let's just call it $50. And I want to pay 50% of it off. I can go to accounting here. I can go to deposits, and I can create an advance payment. Then I go here and type in, for example, Austin Circuits, and I want to deposit this to, let's see, maybe my Bank of America account, or yeah, Bank of America sounds good. And then I can select the payment method. Is it a bank transfer? Reference number. And then I can add account here. So for example, maybe I'll put this under my. I don't have a test account here. Okay. So maybe, sorry, go ahead.
David, yeah, I think what Christ Wolf is asking is that if they have an invoice, I mean, okay, so there are two scenarios here. The one that you're showing right now is where we first receive a deposit, then we raise an invoice, and then we use the deposit to knock off against the invoice, and then later on we can receive partial payment. So that's the one that we are showing right now with the deposit here. Then the other scenario would be if I already have an invoice, then can I get partially paid against that? So yeah, let's go ahead. I just wanted to clarify that there are two
Okay.
scenarios.
So yeah, there's this one here where I can go and do a deposit, and then I can go here to sell. And then here, I can go and click here. Apply advance payment here. You can also apply a credit note as well. Or if you want to, you can actually drill in. For example, if I click on, I can drill in, and I can also apply advance payment here. And then I'll see the availability, and I can choose. I can apply the total amount, or I can just apply partial. So for example, if I want to apply $20 of it, I can apply $20 of here, and I'll still have the $5 remaining. And you're referring to inside here, I can then click get paid. And then I can see my $34, but I can choose how much I want to pay here. So maybe I want to pay, for example, let's see. $4. And I can select the bank account here that I want to receive it from. Payment type. Choose date. And reference number. You can see I can also pay partially here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I can receive it.
So in the so what David showed here was that if you have received a deposit first, then you can record that as an advance deposit against that customer. And then when you raise the invoice, you can apply that advance payment or the deposit to the invoice to knock off whatever amount that you have received in the advance, and your accounts receivable will only be for the remaining amount. So, and if you already have an invoice, but you only want to record partial payment, then that can also be done by just entering the amount of the partial payment that you are going to receive. So both cases can be handled here.
Correct.
Move to the next
And
one.
David, if you can open that invoice where we received the advance deposit, then we can see a list of all the different deposits that have happened. So so you have the view properly
Yeah.
with you. I don't think people can see that right now. So yeah, okay. So yeah, you can see here all the different deposits, and if you expand the payments just below the total as well. Expand the payments
sorry.
below the total.
Close. You want me
Yeah.
click here is what you mean? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but-
even here you can see all the different recordings that we have made for payment that has been received. Okay. Now, there is a question on the stream from Zakia. If we did not understand this when we first started, can we change our opening date? If you already have had transactions or details inside the system, then opening date is kind of locked, but you can basically we'll have to reset the company. So you can write to care@deskera.com. They will help you to reset all the details.
That's
Or
too
we can
cumbersome,
delete
man.
it.
That's too cumbersome. Just make a reset button. Click on reset and you reset the whole company. But can you change the opening date without resetting the company?
No.
Why is
No,
that?
because there are your opening balance, whatever that the system records as an opening balance is something that is going to determine your closing balance at the end of the year.
Are you
And-
saying no accounting system allows changing of the opening date?
It would cause havoc.
So, David, you have used SAP. I mean, David has implemented SAP. In the
No.
past. He can
Oh
comment
gosh,
on
no.
that.
Literally, you actually have your finance close the period that month. You provide all your openings. You put all your openings there. And if you change it, it'll cause haywire. All your openings won't make sense. Your transactions may not work. Your balance sheet may be all screwed up. Profit and loss is all screwed up as well. And no one knows how to make heads and tails of it. You would have to reset it and import the proper data again. But of course, SAP, you have consultants there telling everybody exactly what to do all the time. So it's a different animal altogether.
So we can't change the date once you set it up. So if you put a date and you do a few transactions, there must be some way it can be programmed, right? I mean, you can add.
There are certain use cases in which it can be allowed. So, for example, if all the so for example, if I have set, let's say, a book beginning date of 1st March, and I have created a transaction of 10th March, right? And I have not imported any opening balances, etc. so
Hey,
far.
look at this. QuickBooks has this feature. Now you have to go and check it in QuickBooks, but it has
QuickBooks has this feature.
It has. So there are certain use cases in which it can be changed.
Even with transactions and your openings already put in, they can do that.
It's made it sound like it's not possible, and then right now, like 2 minutes later, it's possible. So
Even before this came up, I had mentioned that there are certain use cases where it is possible, but we haven't got around to those use cases as yet.
I mean, no transactions, no openings. You would have to redo your whole entire openings again. If you're going forward, those transactions may become opening transactions. Going in the past would be also pain. It's really messy.
Yeah, so that is similar to, so basically what QuickBooks has is similar to a reset kind of a thing, especially towards the start, right?
So they just reset it, they remove all your data, and then you
What
just
here
change
is just
Mike,
started doing.
Mike, so I think we have to go and check if it's a reset sort of a change, meaning that I can change it, but I have to reset the whole thing. All transactions are invalid. I don't think that's needed, man. You don't have to invalidate the transaction. You just have to change the opening date. So you can change it from day 1 to day n behind a forward, and then add all the transactions and add a opening balance on that day. Why is that so
because
that's not impossible to do, right?
all the transactions
It's not impossible, but there are use cases that we have to consider. I mean, it is not possible in all the use cases. There are certain scenarios which have to be handled there.
I can't think of any scenario. Why can't? Yeah, okay. So if you have any
So
debt,
if you are using inventory, for example, right, then your inventory will go up and down. So there is no way that you can account for that.
So, like for example, I go,
Now the important thing here is the difference between QuickBooks and us is QuickBooks allows negative inventory.
Mike was saying that you don't have to reset in QuickBooks. So all data remains.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why QuickBooks can do that is because it allows negative inventory. You can have negative inventory in QuickBooks.
What's negative inventory, man?
It means you don't have inventory, but you still can keep on creating transactions for that, and then it keeps going into negative, and then you cannot close it at the end of the year. So we don't allow negative inventory. Zero doesn't allow negative inventory, and most TradeGecko doesn't allow negative inventory, and so on. So negative inventory is very tricky because
I think we need to look at this reset thing.
we need to look at that because
We need to have this feature because people will make mistakes and they want to reset that, as in the change the date. I don't think,
time
as long as you don't do a few, I don't know. We'll have to see the scenarios, but ideally it should be allowed.
because
if we allow negative inventory, then there are more use cases in which you can change that.
you would have to update your
About
opening.
inventory, just do it for people with no inventory, man. Why are you punishing everyone? So if somebody doesn't have inventory, they can change the date. But if you have inventory, maybe then you don't change. Yeah. So we're only human, bound to make mistakes. So I agree with. So let's come back on this, and we will take some more questions. So I'm going to push the question on the screen, and maybe you can see it. When is Shopify releasing? So, let me take this one. This is for me. No, so we have a Shopify tool that Shopify won't release it. So we are negotiating and talking to Shopify. Eventually, this is going to take a couple of weeks. Eventually, they'll release it. So I don't see a big blocker, but it's only a blocker for a few weeks. The reason is that they want us to use Shopify payments in the system. So I said it. I think we have an NDA with them, but they want us to use Shopify payments to do all the payments in the system, and yeah, that's getting a little bit of back and forth. I've said more than I should have said. Can I import all transactions? Yes. So we're building on this. We're building transaction import, all transaction import, step by step. So we have some transaction import, right, Saurabh? Or
Yeah, invoices is already in.
okay, so we have invoices in. We're building other imports. Maybe we can show import for invoices. Can we show it now?
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me click on. You can all see my screen.
Trust me, we can. StreamYard
Excellent.
screen. If you again coming back to David, if you open StreamYard on your browser, you can see what we are streaming. So there's a, it shows you live. So there's a live icon on top, and you'll see what we are streaming.
Okay.
So answer to Mike Wong is, can I import? Yes, you can import. You can import, and you try this out and see if this works for you. If this doesn't work for you, just give us a shout. And
Okay. Just downloading my sample file. Just waiting for it to open on up. There we go. Let me double click on this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is the import function. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So this is where you can put in your invoice number. You can select your contact name, invoice date, invoice due date. You can select any currency, exchange rate, your memo, status, is it fulfilled, unfulfilled? If you have a warehouse, is it a primary warehouse? And then next you have your line item. So this is your product name, product description, product quantity, unit price, any tax discount here. Same thing, and after that, you just go on to the next line, like invoice 2. So after the product, you just go here, you put in the information, and you put in the product name, product quantity, and unit price. After that, you save your template. And you just go, let me just shrink this down a bit. Okay. And you go here, and I can just go and drag and drop the file inside the screen itself. And then you can see it's been added. And then I can click next. And then I can see all the information here. It looks like it's auto-mapped correctly. You can also see your different custom fields here, like my invoice projects, outlets. So if you have additional custom fields, you just add them into the Excel sheet themselves, and then you can map them here. After that, I can see any invalid records. Like, of course, I can see my context is not correct. So you can see here, I can just choose my contact names directly on the screen itself. I don't need to go and change it in the Excel sheet. I can look here and see my warehouses. So for example, this is primary warehouse. I can just delete this and select the correct warehouse. For example, Houston warehouse. And I can expand here and see the items here. So for example, I don't have any test products. Maybe I want a laptop. Maybe I want a web designer. I can see the unit prices here, and I can update accordingly. If everything looks good, then I go on, and I can see I have one invalid record. So I can just click here, and I can filter out my invalids. Again, test product, delete, teaching course, 12, quantity, product, and everything. If it all looks good, I submit. And then my invoice will be generated. Yep. So you can see here, those two have been added into the system. Stacy's Gadgets, Austin Circuits.
Does
So-
the import work with custom fields?
It does. The import function does. So if you click here, when I was doing the import, you can see here, let me just shrink this down again. And let me drop a file in here. Expand. When I click next, you can see at the very end of this, these are all my custom fields, my projects, my outlets, and my length. These are my custom fields here. All you have to do is add an extra column to the item. To that Excel sheet and add it in. So if it's like a product, it'll have to be at your line item. And if it's at the invoice, it'll be at your header. So for example, let me go back here, expand. So inside here, your first line is your header. So this is where you import your header columns. So for example, I add projects and outlets. So I input project and outlets. And inside here, I have my product. So I also have something called length. So this is where I can add my length. And I would put the information, for example, here for my length. And for the outlets and projects, I would put it up here.
Cool. All right. Cool. So it works with the custom field. We'll move to the next one quickly. Will I be able to select bank account in future and create a transaction within Deskera so I can file quarterly taxes? Sort of take this up. You're muted.
Yeah, so you can do that easily right now also. As long as it is about creating transactions, you can do that. If you want to create any deposit or expense using your bank, it can be done by going to accounting and adding a deposit or an expense. And you can select the bank from which you want to either pay or receive money from.
Is integration with Amazon planned in future? Yes.
Yes.
Planned in future, planned soon actually. Yeah, we're working on that actually. There's a team working on that. How about payment integration with UAE? This is a very familiar question. There's a user in UAE that is very active with the group and the product, very encouraging. Give us some ideas what partners in UAE we should look at, and we'll look at that and quickly revert. Not planned for now, but we will put that in the pipeline. Not planned for now though. Saurabh, you want to share the slide with with the agenda so that we can go back to the agenda?
Yes. Let me do that real
Yeah, it's
quick.
right here. David shared that. Cool. So what we did was we saw there was no introduction. We just jumped into Australia compliance. We saw undeposited funds. We went to recurring invoice. Have we shown the recurring invoice in Stripe integration?
Yes, we have.
Cool. The Scrapbooks demo. Hey, there is a question on recurring invoice. It's not a question, actually, my question. And the question is, are we doing two-way integration back and forth? So you can do, create something in Stripe. I'll just post it here. Are we doing that?
So right now, what is happening is that you can create invoices in Deskera. Those invoices can be sent over to Stripe or PayPal. And then once those invoices are paid using whatever payment gateway that we used, then the payment details come back from Stripe or PayPal or Veeam into Deskera. So this is the core integration which is in play right now. Now the other scenarios are that I have set up my invoicing etc. inside Stripe or inside PayPal already, and I don't want to have invoices being created in Deskera and then sent over to Stripe, but rather the other way around. That is something which we have in our pipeline, and we will provide that option as well.
Hey, when? Like, there's no ETA. Everything you say will. I thought we discussed this today. There's somebody working on it.
Yeah. So now that work has started, we should see it before the end of this month.
Cool. That's very encouraging. And I just stood up because I was sick of sitting down. I don't know if my camera can follow me or not. So coming back to any more questions, and we don't have any more questions. So coming back to the agenda, David, if you could just switch to the agenda. So we did books demo, we did the CRM demo, and we haven't done the people demo. Do you want to do the people demo now?
Can.
Let's do that.
All right. Okay. Let's go do that. All right. So I'm just going to click here. You see these wonderful, looks like a Rubik's Cube. And I'm clicking on Deskera people here. Now it's just loading up the screen. And it's taking me to the dashboard. It is interesting. So it's just loading it right now. Here we go. I can now see my payroll cost, employees, total earnings, total deductions. I can see my things to do, important dates, like the 31st when I have to do my payday. And of course, year to date, you can see that wow, it's going up by a lot. That's not good. But maybe it is good. Maybe it means I'm growing. But you can see here the amounts here, payroll costs and total earnings for year 2020. Next, we have our pay schedule. And this is where we can add our pay schedule here. And this is where you can put in the schedule name, meaning, for example, twice weekly, monthly. And I'm able to go and select the pay period here. So we have monthly, weekly, and twice per month. Sarab, I believe that bi-weekly is also coming as well.
Yes, it is.
All right. So inside here, for example, if I click monthly, I can select the working weeks here, and I can turn off and turn on which ones I want and which ones I don't want. Because, you may have different payment, pay schedules based upon different weeks. Like, for example, office workers, maybe it's Monday through Friday, but maybe your, your not your sales staff, but maybe your shop floor workers or other workers maybe work different hours, not different hours, work different weeks or different days for that week. Inside here, you can see the different dates. I can pay on the 28th or any date. I can select the date here. And I can select weekly. So inside here, I can select which day of the week I pay on. And I can also select twice per month. So this one will pay on the 15th and the last day of the month. And I can put the first pay date here. And I can select the work period here. So for example, maybe December 1st to December 15th, for example, and apply. And do I want to apply to all users? Because your pay schedule may not be applicable to everybody, maybe applicable to only certain people. Next, let's go to employees. So inside here, we have our employee list. So this is where I can see all my employees here. So I can see all of them here, and I can add an employee here. So I can click here and type in the name, Jim Johnson. I can put in the email address. And I can just here plus. I can put a phone number. I can put in the destination. Sales. I can select the birth date. So for example, 1970, June 2nd. And I can also select the gender, marital status, all stuff that will get you sued in the United States. Now let's click on date of joining. So I can select the date of joining, and I can also select here the date of confirmation. I can now input the address. I can see the address here. And now this is where I can choose the employee type. Is it full-time, part-time, casual, shift worker, probation, and out worker? You can put in the basic salary. For example, I can put in, let's say $6,000 per year. Very sad. Per month. Okay. Per hour. Insane. So you can choose which one you want. Is it per year, per month, or per hour? You can put in the payment details. You can go here and see the different components and put in the amounts. And then here, this is all based upon compliance. So if you're in the US, you have social security number. If you're in, for example, Singapore, you have your, what's it called? PR, S-Pass, work permit holder, and such. And based upon other countries, you'll have other statutory requirements as well. And then you can save.
Welcome
After that,
VoiceOver speaks descriptions of.
after that, I'm just going to show you components quickly. Inside here, I can add components, and I can put component name, such as Christmas bonus, something I'm hoping for. And you can have a choice of earning and deduction. How sad if it would be a deduction. And then you have your compliance amount, pre-tax, post-tax. But in, for example, Singapore, it'd be your CPF, your SDL, your workforce levy. It'll be all dependent on that as well. And I see something. Benefits. Ooh, you can add benefits. Something new, I see. So you can put in benefit names here. So benefit, what's it called? Taxi fare? I don't know. Car. I can determine if it's pre-tax, post-tax. I can put in the employee contribution. I can say, is it a fixed amount? I can put in the employee contribution pay period based on percentage. I could have the annual maximum contribution here. I can say applicable to all users or select a user. So we have add benefits. Cool. That's something new that no one told me about. Next, we can go to pay run. So inside here, we have pay run, and I can see all the upcoming events. So I can click here on the ones that I already created and delete.
Was benefits added like literally after last demo? Because I saw it on Friday, it wasn't there.
Yeah, so it's really fast, really cool.
See, this is
And
the fast product dev. You have features and we don't even know it's up. So having said that, hey, have we shown the contact syncing between books and CRM?
Nope, but I can show that.
Yeah, so I recall people writing over that feature a few weeks ago, and we want contact syncing. I think we released it last week, and we haven't
Yeah,
seen
it is live now.
Yeah, it's live. So it was a big deal for a few weeks. We got a few bad reviews on AppSumo because of that. I got a Molotov cocktail thrown over my house because of that, and then suddenly we have completely ignored that feature. So that was a high priority feature for us. So we should show that feature with some pride if we can, and see how the UI is. If the UI is good, we can add more to it.
Yep.
But we should show that feature. But I think we'll show this. We'll finish people first, David. So I think
Okay.
we'll finish, people first. Just keep this parked. We'll finish people. Once you're done, we'll come back quickly to CRM, show the contact integration, because I thought that was like a big deal, man. I was like, people were slaughtering us. You have an integrated solution and you don't have CRM talking to books. What the? And then we release it and like just crickets, man. So let's show these two very quickly. Saurabh, just have your, if you can just share the slide so I can pull it up just to recall where we are. Add reports to that if you can, please. We'll show reports as well. But let's show this, finish this, come back to contacts quickly, show the contacts quickly, and we'll take up questions right after that. We have a question from Mike Wong. For recurring invoices, can we auto create last day of each one? We'll come back to these questions in a bit. Just give us some time. Let's finish. We have the wrong banner as well. So I'm going to change the banner as well. And let's go back to Monday Matters. Okay. On to you, David.
All right, so let's add a pay run. So if I click here, I can select the pay schedule. I can select when's the pay date, and I can select the first pay date, and I can select the work period. So for example, December 1st to December 31st, and apply. And I can select the user. So maybe let's do Kelly Smith, and maybe Ann Martinez, Andy Smith, and then I can process the payroll. Now inside here, you'll see your statutory requirements. So for example, if this is the US, you'll see your federal income. If this is Singapore, you'll see your CPF, your SDL, foreign worker levy, if that's there, and you'll see your employer and employees as well here. I can also click here for overtime. So I can put in the overtime. I can see days, I can see hours here, and I can update accordingly. And then I can click next. Then I can see all the amounts, make sure everything looks good, process the payroll. And this says, to ensure accuracy, please review your payroll numbers and make sure they're 100% correct. Do you wish to continue to process payroll? Yes. I can view my summary here. I can see if everything looks good. And after that, I can click finish. After it's finished, I can view the summary here. And if I click the checkbox, you can see I'm not able to delete. So that's why they have you make sure and check that everything is good before you actually press the button. Because once you press the button, you cannot delete, you cannot edit, you cannot change. Saurabh, that's in the pipeline, right? To be able to revert?
Yeah.
Payroll, yes. Payroll. Next, just quickly, we can go to eLeaf.
Literally, everything is in a pipeline. Literally, like, there are 3 things not in the pipeline. Everything else is in the pipeline.
Just to show you reports, we have our payroll summary reports, and of course, based upon your company, you have your different types of statutory requirements. All right, let's go here. Just quickly, I just want to show you under leave management what types of leaves you can create. So new leave type. So you can put the leave type name. You can put the number of days per year. You can put it as yearly, monthly, one time. So one time you can think of it like maternity, paternity leave. You know, what's it called? What's that wonderful leave? Leave where your family member passed away. It's called, can't remember. But you know, these are the one-time leaves that you can have. You can determine the accrual. Is it first day of the month, last day of the month? Number of days, is it prorated by number of months or is it disabled? Carry forward, how you can carry it forward. Carry forward number of days, maximum leave balance, leave description. You can select gender. So like again, maternity, paternity leave for women for so many days, paternity leave for men. Marital status. So I've heard that in Malaysia, there is leave for when you get married, which I did not know about. So they have this type of leave there as well. So we have marital status, single, married, separated, divorced, widowed. It'd be sad if you have leave for separate. But okay, so after that, you can also allow for unpaid leave, active leave, apply leave before confirmation date. And you have your years of service based upon entitlement. So I can go and change this here. And for example, I can change these, for example, 5. And then I can do, for example, 5 to 10. Actually, let me just delete this one, and this one. Yeah, so. So I can change the date here and then add, and you can see it automatically updates here as well. So I can do 5 to 10 and so forth and change the leave dates here. I can just leave, put in my yearly holiday, user management. Just so you guys know and gals know, inside here under teams, this is where you can set up your teams for your approval. Who's the manager? Who approves this leave? So this is where you create the team. This is where you can put in the team name and the username and add. For example, Jim Johnson, Smith. I can add them in here. And you can see I can choose the role here. Are they a manager and user? So manager will approve the user's leave. Quickly, just go to expenses. Inside here, this is where you can do your admin settings and set up your claims. This is where you can create your new groups. Inside your groups, you'll have members and you'll have your manager. So your manager will be the one that approves your leaves. Of course, approve your claims. Admin can also approve claims as well. This is your different categories for your claims. Is it food, travel, accommodation? Is it golf? And over here, I can go and create a new claim. I can drop, what's it called? A bill in here. I can put in the merchant's ID, a tax code description, and I can submit it. So after that, it's submitted. I can click the three dots. I can only duplicate and print. And just for you guys to note, you can see here there is no delete option. So you cannot delete the claim. So just please be aware of that. All right. So that's expense claims. Anything else you want me to go through in people before we go to sales?
No, we can go to sales.
All right. So inside, okay, let me go back to here. And let me just go back to the dashboard and show you where you go.
I think there's one question for people. The question is, where do we define overtime payments?
In the payroll itself, when you run the pay run, you'll see the list of people there. You can then click on the button to expand. Once you expand, you can put in the OT 1.5 or 2. But let me just show you here in the pay run itself.
That's it, 1.5 or 2, that's it? You can't have more or less?
From what I saw, it was only 1.5 and 2, but let me just click on the screen and we can take a look together. So processing payroll. Inside here, you can click on overtime, and you can see here 1.5 and 2, and I can input the information here.
I'm not sure. Is it like just 1.5? You can add more, right? Hopefully.
Saurabh, I don't believe so, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that option will be provided.
All right. But why is it 1.5 and 2? Like, you just hard coded 1.5 and 2? Do we have? Okay, never mind. We'll come back on that. We'll talk to the people team. There's some logic behind that. I think there's some setting somewhere. We'll come back to that, but I think we can enter it here. That's the answer. Coming back to the next question, let's go back to CRM.
Okay.
Actually, we'll start with books. So the question is, for recurring invoices, can we set auto create at the last day of each month?
So right now, but
Go
that
ahead.
is something that is going to be added as part of QOL improvement for the recurring invoices feature.
Okay. When will email automation be available?
This is planned for Q1 2021 in CRM.
Okay. Any way to back up data on your own PC server? I don't think we will. It's all saved on cloud, so you'll have to download everything, and it's like the system is not designed for that. Coming back to the contact sync, is it bi-directional or single direction? And
It goes both ways. So
Let me show
from
the
books to
interface.
CRM and CRM to books.
Can we show the interface?
So inside here, we have our contacts, right? And I just created that contact beyond the web private limited. You can see now it automatically is already here. So if I let me go back to books and create another contact. Let's call it, I don't know. Cameras are us. All right, just putting in the address now. I'm just saving. And you can see now cameras are us is here, right? So let me go here and refresh. You can see now cameras are us are here.
Cool. So we have the UI looks very good. We have bidirectional contact sync, and absolutely nobody cares.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, man. It's like a. Have you played Tetris?
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, like your mistakes keep cropping up, but everything that you do good just disappears. So life is making a product is lot like Tetris. You just keep adding features that people want, and once they have it, it just you have one more problem, and then the next problem, next problem. So yeah, okay, very motivating. Going to the next question. Is it possible to only use Deskera books at the moment? Ooh, I don't think that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. Of course, that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I mean, reimbursement amount per hour. This is reimbursement. So Chris is asking, Christ Wolves is asking, can we add overtime as reimbursement amount per hour, something like that? I don't know. Is that the question, Saurabh?
Yeah, maybe if you could send me a use case or an example, just send,
Okay.
you can just DM it to me. I need
Yeah.
to look at it because maybe we do it, but I mean, maybe I use some different terms. So the
Yeah,
question is not
maybe
clear.
we can just avoid this right now and just move on to the next. What do we have to show next?
The syncing from CRM itself.
Oh, do that. Please do that. Yeah.
Right
didn't
here
show
we
that?
have the contact sync.
I thought we just showed that.
Oh,
No,
that's from
so
books
this
to
is
CRM.
for this screen is useful for people who have already imported contacts in books in CRM because earlier they did not have the sync, but they want to connect them now. So this screen will help with that.
Okay.
So I can see the names here. Are they matched? I can click here, and then I can go look, for example, Austin Computers Private Limited, and I can match it just in case the wording is not correct. I can go and look and see for other items here that may be matching, like Johnny's, maybe same as Johnny's Electronics. And I just match which ones are there, and then I can sync contacts. So now those are synced, are matched. So 15 out of 17. So you can see mapping unmatched contacts, Deskera sales contacts name and details replaced with the Deskera books contact. So you can see now my Austin Circuits Private Limited, Johnny Electronics name has now come correctly, and now they should match properly. So I can continue to match them and sync them all together, making sure that they're all aligned. So, okay.
Cool. Super. So let's test this out. Let's use this feature and then see if you like it or not. And just leave a comment below and like and subscribe if you like it. What next?
So we have an upgrade on the report builder.
Okay, we will show. Do you want to show a report builder?
Yeah, it is already shared, so you can just.
But I personally like the UI for the contact sync, so I like that a lot. I don't know if people like it or not, but I'm going to use it and see if it's as designed. But let's show it again whenever we can. Let's make a post as well. This is a good feature, and yeah,
Very
cool.
true.
Report builder. Can we get the report builder in the house?
Okay.
Yeah, I think you will need to pop over my shared screen.
Okay, let me just try to figure out how to stop sharing. The share button.
Don't worry.
doesn't-
Don't worry, David. Leave that to me because in this you can just quickly switch the streams. You don't have to unshare anything.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
So immediately as you look at the report builder now, you can see it is slightly different from what it was before. You can see saved reports on the report builder now.
Just to clarify, this is safe reports, SAFE, meaning the reports are safe. And I'm going to change the banner as well. I'm just kidding. These are saved report as well.
Some of these are not safe, so we can put an NSW there. But anyway, so if I want to view a report, I can just click on view report here. And this will show me all the details that I had saved in this report earlier. And I can add a new report to this dashboard. And I can choose some information here. Let's say available quantity and valuation, and apply that. And then I can save this. And this has got a name already, so I'm not going to change that. Yeah. And then if I want to create a new one, I can just click on create a new report here. I can drag. I mean, I can select the charts that I want to use. I can put the due amount here as well. There you go. And save this. And I can give a name. Right. So yeah, you will see this report here now. This total versus due amount report you can see is shown here. So yeah, this is the upgrade from what we had seen last time. But there are a few other interesting features that are now available. You can email this entire thing over. So you can choose the recipient's email address. And send this. Or you can download this as a file, or you can print it out. So yeah, it will connect to the printer and you can print it out as you want to. So yeah, these are the upgrades that we have on the report builder, and this is what you will see very soon. A couple of other things that I wanted to show here. Let me just save this. Now, when I want to add a new report, then I can add. So let me choose this instead, and just to show you how it's gonna look like, put invoices. I'm gonna put contact name, sales invoice date, type, total amount, due amount, and tax amount, and let's say status, and apply the changes. So here I get my report. Now I can filter this. So I want to add a filter. So I add a filter of total amount is greater than, let's say, 1300. And I apply that. So there you go. You can filter your reports, and you can sort. I mean, you can remove the filters also if you want to see the complete report here, and you can sort by whichever field. So if I want to sort by, let's say, total amount, and I can choose ascending or descending, apply changes. There you go. So I'm sorted by total amount now. I can change this to descending, changes. So now you can add filters, you can add sorting, and you can save multiple reports. What we are also going to do is we are going to provide pre-designed templates here, and these templates will be shareable in the future. So once we have templates, you can share these templates across your different organizations to quickly recreate the reports from one of your companies into another, so you don't have to spend a lot of time creating the same report across multiple companies. So yeah, these were the updates that I had on the report builder.
We will take questions if you have any on the report builder. Otherwise, we will move on. Thank you, Roy. And it's like, Twitch streams. You see Twitch streams, right? People subscribing when they see the stream. Very similar to that experience. Okay. What else can we talk about? we've exhausted the questions. All the questions have been answered as far as I'm concerned. I've seen all the
There
questions.
are no more questions.
Yep.
We should maybe we can put a 42 somewhere, on the screen.
All the answers, 42 being the answer. We have, I think we'll keep affiliate for a separate discussion because we've had it for 2 hours. So we'll probably have a different discussion on affiliate. But if there's any more questions, we can take them now, or we'll just close the webinar and do it again Friday. We have a webinar coming up on Thursday. We'll keep trying to change the format or upgrade the format. So we just started using StreamYard this week to see how the format works. It looks very interesting. We need a full-time guy managing this. I think we need somebody running the stream full-time. Otherwise, AppSumo just ended. Thank you all. And see you again this week, Indonesia, on Thursday. We'll have a affiliate specific webinar on Wednesday. We'll announce that in the group. Nothing for tomorrow, except if you want to, David. Right?
Yeah, we have
see
to
you
look
again.
at.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that's something that we need to look at. Maybe we need to come out with.
There's a question. Last minute question. So we'll just show it here. I've never filed taxes before. Can I use Deskera to claim expenses for IRS? I don't know, man. Never filed taxes before? Okay. The answer is going to be yes. You know where this is headed. The answer is yes. But we have to go into the details. If you're talking about, I don't know which country you are from, but if you have our product in the country that we have released in, then it should be easy. It should be possible. Easy is subjective. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. The answer is yes. IRS is in US, right? So probably you are talking about US. So the answer is yes, absolutely. You can claim expenses for IRS. Okay, with that, hopefully answers your question. We will end the stream. Thank you everyone on the stream. And yeah, you're interested. Yes, can, absolutely. The answer is yes. Thank you so much, everyone. And we're going to end the broadcast with, let me see if there's a banner to end the broadcast or not. Oh yeah, there is a banner. So thank you. The broadcast, actually there's no banner, sorry. There's only overlay. But thank you so much for joining this, and looking forward to the next stream. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.